Hello, crypto friends. My name is Joey. I'm part of the Chart Guys team. I've been a full-time trader and technical analyst for 7 years, and I'm here to talk about some crypto as we've got Bitcoin up testing all-time highs. Always exciting times when all-time highs are in play. But now the question is, what are we looking at from here? Are we looking for all-time highs? If we get all-time highs, what do we need to see to know that we have acceptance up into new price discovery? And of course, the scenario that nobody wants to consider, are we going to stay within the balance that we've been in for over the last 6 months? So let's get into the charts, take a look, and see what we are working with. So bigger picture, as has been the case for a long time, as long as monthly 12 EMA is support on Bitcoin, then bulls maintain that full control. And here we are up, bumping up against all-time highs, $150 short of it, and we have daily consolidation underway within our weekly uptrend. So ultimately, our weekly uptrend is going to be the guide within this sideways balance range that we have been in for quite some time. So zooming into the daily, bulls need to show up here soon if they want a healthy daily higher low to form. If they hold the 12 EMA, that is healthy, and there is potential for us just to go up into all-time highs from here. If we lose this daily 12 EMA, that's when bears are creating room for a daily lower high next bounce, and that would set up the scene for some weekly consolidation. Then we'd have to look for a weekly higher low. If we were to lose the weekly uptrend within this sideways range, then that would be us continuing to stay balanced from here. So we're going to get one of three things. We're either going to get a rejection from resistance and stay within balance. We are going to get a new all-time high with acceptance and travel through blue skies, or we are going to get a new all-time high without acceptance and then come back into balance. So if we're going to stay within balance, we would lose the weekly uptrend. If we're going to get a new all-time high and find acceptance and go into blue skies, the daily uptrend will remain intact after we get those new all-time highs, and bulls will turn what is a very clear resistance into support. You want to go up, get these new all-time highs, backtest, hold, and then continue on up into fresh price discovery. So if that's going to be the case, backburners are going to hit, retracement's going to be healthy, there's not going to be heavy bear volume, and that's what bulls want to see. What they do not want to see, we'll go to the daily for this, is a break into new all-time highs, and then deep consolidation, lose the daily uptrend, confirm a daily downtrend. That would be then a look above and fail. That could set up the potential for a monthly bull flag to confirm without follow through, which could signal larger consolidation on a bigger time frame there. So we'll just go one step at a time, and for right now, we're looking for a daily higher low. So zooming into the 4-hour, bulls, we're hopeful that this daily higher low is shaping up this morning. We had a very nice 4-hour bounce with enough room for a 4-hour higher low compared to these lows here at 68,830. And we gave back the full move. So that's a little bit of an intermediate red flag. That being said, bulls still have a lot of room for that daily higher low to form compared to 65,596. So at this point, looking at our 4-hour, our key resistance overhead before our multi-tops at all-time highs is 71,632. So that's what we're looking at here on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is remaining dominant within the space. If we look at Bitcoin dominance, we know the 2-week 12 EMA as our bigger picture guide. So, in terms of, are we going to get an alt season and this and that? If we're going to get an alt season, the 2-week 12 EMA needs to be lost. And right now we've just got a daily stair step on dominance breaking at the moment, but lots of room for a daily higher low. We'll look to the weekly 12 EMA if we get weekly consolidation, just because that marked our last little higher low there. But again, bigger picture, 2-week 12 EMA is most important to me on Bitcoin dominance. And as long as that's holding, that tells us that Bitcoin in large is the place to be within the space. So moving on to Ethereum, it's still in the doghouse. So we did get our monthly bounce underway. We know we're looking for a monthly lower high compared to 4,093. And after the weekly uptrend confirmed without follow through, that increases the odds that a quick monthly lower high can shape up. But ultimately, I'm going to continue just to treat this like balance. It was a resistance break if we go into the daily, but only marginally, and then we just kind of came back down. So it just has the spirit of an EQ here. Low, high, higher low, lower high, higher low, slight higher high, no follow through, higher low, lower high, and bulls hoping to form a higher low compared to 23.79. So the tighter Ethereum gets, the more volatility we can anticipate on the break when that comes, but it is tough to have interest in Ethereum as long as ETH BTC remains weak. So if we look at the weekly here, we are down at multi-year lows and bears are just driving it down. They've been in full control since this weekly EQ broke to the downside in mid-summer. And now we've got EMA riders on multiple time frames to the downside. So daily 12 EMA just set our recent daily lower high. If bulls can get through daily 12 EMA, then we're going to be looking to 3-day 12 EMA, which has topped us out the last few bounces. If bulls get through that, then we're looking to weekly 12 EMA. And if we're going to say that Ethereum is back in any notable sense, it's going to need to get up and over the weekly 12 EMA, and that is that. So I know Ethereum is a cornerstone in the space, but right now it's just a dog, and we have to call it what it is. So LTC, we know we're looking for a monthly lower high here compared to 112.98, and weekly uptrend continues to be our guide. So it's not the most glorious bounce. These higher highs aren't really seeing follow through, but higher lows continue to form. So we got double weekly inside bars at the moment. I'm viewing it as a 2-day EQ, low, high, higher low, lower high. Bulls trying to shape up a higher low here. If that breaks bear, then that'll be weekly consolidation underway. If it breaks bull, then the monthly move continues on its way up. And similar to Ethereum, we've got the ratio chart as the guide here, and LTC, BTC continues to be a dog. Weekly 12 EMA is our resistance there, and nothing is changing as long as that is the case. So let's take a look at some alts. We've got some nice tightening ranges in the alt space. So looking at XLM, this is a beautiful tightening range here on the weekly, and similar to what I was talking about there with Ethereum, when this breaks, we can anticipate volatility. So certainly keeping eyes on XLM. Anything over 0.0881 would be a weekly higher low, and we got bulls with relative strength here on the day. Anything below, let's see, 0.0970 would be a daily lower high, and this is just continuing to tight. So looking for volatility and volume to hit XLM when this range breaks. We've got ETC with another tightening range, very similar here. We'll look at it on the weekly. So getting tight. So when these ranges break, we expect volume and volatility. So it can be easy to fall asleep on a name when it's not really doing much and it's just going sideways, but it gives bulls and bears opportunity to position. So if you're bearish, you're looking for plays off of these lower highs that keep forming. If you're bullish, you're looking for plays off of these higher lows. So that's just how it goes. If you want to be patient, you can wait for the break and then look to position within there. And what's another one? AXS is another weekly tightening range that we've got here, very similar to ETC there. So, it's not perfect. We got a little higher high without follow through. Same thing on ETC, but you can just treat it as balance. The spirit of balance is there. And there's a number of other alts that are similarly kind of just basing at their lows or rejecting from weekly 12 EMAs. And until we get some weekly uptrends with follow through, those alts are hoping to be laggards to the alts that actually did get their monthly bounces. What they don't want to see is these stronger alts that got their monthly bounces actually top out and get their monthly lower highs before these alts have a chance to try to join the party. So speaking of names that got nice monthly bounces underway, and a name that has great relative strength right now, Doge. Let's go to the monthly. So monthly bounce underway, big old monthly bounce, lots of room for a monthly high or low, but anything below 22.88 would be a monthly lower high. And if this name were to top without rotation going into those other weak names, then those weak names are likely to make lower lows once names that are strong on the monthly do end up topping. So for Doge, we're just going to work with daily 12 EMA. So we technically don't have a daily uptrend since this is right off of the low, but very healthy daily consolidation. If we hold the 12 EMA, then that will remain healthy. And bulls going to need to regain a 4-hour uptrend if they're going to get a daily higher low set. So what else we got? Let's look at APT. Speaking of tightening ranges, this is a broader tightening range. So on the monthly here, we got a big old EQ on APT. Low, high, higher low, lower high, higher low, and anything below 1937 would be a lower high. We have a weekly uptrend as the guide for the monthly move, and bulls are hoping to hold these freshly crossed EMAs on the weekly here. So looking at the daily, Nice move to try to hold those, but giving a lot of it back. So we do have room for a daily lower high compared to 1022. Next bounce, and bulls are going to have to regain a daily uptrend to try to get a weekly higher low set. What else we got? Let's look at TAO. TAO is consolidating on the monthly. That got its monthly lower high set, but we're still in a weekly uptrend and we're looking for a weekly higher low. So while the monthly consolidation is underway, bears are not going to see any follow through unless they can take out these weekly EMAs and ultimately confirm a weekly downtrend. So for the time being, this is a potential falling wedge. If bulls were to show up here now, we can be looking at this as a falling wedge to try and shape up a weekly higher low. So bulls need to show up pretty much now if that's going to be the case. They are trying to get a 4-hour bounce underway, or they got one underway this morning, but trying to fend off the setting of that lower high, I should say. But if we're going to say this falling wedge is continuing to materialize, bulls got to get over 4-hour 12 EMA. So that is a scout there. Sui continuing to be strong. We know we had a pretty decent pullback off of the top there, but bulls are trying to shape up a fresh weekly higher low off of the 12 EMA. We do got to be mindful of this uptrend resistance line after a second higher high into all-time highs without follow-through, but as long as higher lows continue to form, then bulls got nothing to worry about. So bouncing right off weekly 12 EMA exactly as you'd like to see it, and bulls going to need to confirm a daily uptrend from here if they're going to get that weekly higher low set. So lots of room for a higher low compared to 159.63 on the daily, and bulls trying to shape one up very quickly here. Had that same big move up this morning, gave most of it back, and maybe we could have a little bit of a falling wedge here as well if we kind of ignore that wick this morning. Let's just see what this looks like. Yeah, I think that's a decent little falling wedge that's attempting to break bull right now, so we'll be keeping eyes on that. If bulls do show up from here, high odds of a daily bull flag to get that weekly higher low set, and then all-time highs are right there. So what else we got? Let's take a look at MSTR. Not a crypto coin, but obviously related to the crypto space and something that a lot of folks are using as a proxy. So this is our big old balance range that we had. We broke out, and bulls are now just riding the daily 12 EMA. So as long as daily 12 EMA continues to hold, then the weekly move remains strong. Bears definitely trying to make a little bit of a statement into the weekend here, but ultimately still holding that daily 12 EMA. So if that's lost, then we'll have weekly consolidation underway, break of the weekly stair step, and we'll look for a weekly higher low. Anything over 113.69 would be one, and bulls want to hold that weekly 12 EMA to keep that consolidation healthy. So, and last but not least, let's take a look at Sol, see what we got going on here. We know it is ultimately still in balance, very similar to Bitcoin, and the big question here is this going to end up being like a 2-week EQ where we have a high, low, lower high, higher low, slight higher high, slight lower low? You get the picture. We're just going sideways. So looking at the weekly here, we did have a very clear resistance and we got up and over, but we know within balance we can't get too jazzed about something like that. So as far as the daily, we have a potential daily head and shoulders here. Left shoulder, head, potential right shoulder. If bears, first step would be bulls forming a higher low compared to 159.12. And then the second step would be bears forming a lower high compared to 183.38. And then the final step would be coming down through that neckline. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And if that were to happen, that would be weekly consolidation. We'd have room for a weekly higher low, but the main thing is we would say we're continuing to just stay within balance. So not much on the news front as far as the Sol ETF talks. So that will probably come back into play at some point, but it's not in play at the moment. All right, that's all I've got. Exciting times with Bitcoin up at all-time highs. One thing I will say, and I have been saying, when we're in balance, risk to reward favors bears when you're at resistance. It favors bulls when you're at support. So as much as all-time high and 100K or whatever seems like an inevitability to a lot of folks, this is a decent place to be hedging or making an attempt at a hedge. If you are a long-term bull, certainly don't have to do that. You don't have to do anything. But protective traders are going to be on the lookout for the potential of an all-time high without follow-through, or a rejection from all-time high resistance, anything like that. But you don't have to necessarily just be top fishing. That being said, top fishers were definitely rewarded here on Bitcoin. But one way you could go about it is wait for a deep enough daily pullback and then look for that daily lower high. Try to position a hedge there in case we do rotate back into this sideways range that we've been in for a long time. So the key level for Bitcoin bulls to avoid cycling down to the low end of our balance is the high of this value area. So 64.6K, that is all the way back here from the fall and winter 2021, and that's ultimately what we've been sashaying around here. So bulls want to hold that. We can see weekly consolidation here. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but you've got to hold this value area high. If you don't, then we're coming to just stay balanced and continue the general boringness on Bitcoin in a relative sense. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Hope everybody has a nice weekend, and I will see you next time.